I'm Chef Frank, this is Protocooks, and today we're making donuts with my friend Chef Tracy Wilk. So there's two reasons why Chef Tracy's here today. Is first of all, to teach me how to work with donuts and yeasted doughs. And the other reason is because Chef Tracy wrote a book. I want you to tell us about your book. It's called Bake It Forward, and Recipes to Bake Kindness and Sprinkle Joy.
Like these donuts.
Yes.
Which this recipe
is in the book.
So during the peak of COVID-19, we both found ourselves furloughed from our full-time jobs, which was fine. We understood the reason.
It was for the best.
It was for the best. There's no hard feelings there.
Yeah.
And I knew that me being in New York City alone in my apartment, like not great.
Yeah.
And I could hear all the sirens going by. I live in the city and I was like, I have to help.
Yeah.
So I posted on Facebook if some local nurses would accept delivery of cookies. And they were like, yeah. And I started to bake every single day for the frontline workers as a way to kind of just give back and say thank you. I knew that what I was doing was not actually like saving lives, but I could make someone's day a little bit better.
And one of the cool things about this is you actually wrote a book from that.
Yeah, it was a really good way to use my time. And I've always had a passion for people. I think that's very much why me and Chef Frank get along. And I do that with food. So it felt like a merging of both of those. So in the book, I tell the stories, or actually the stories are direct from the frontline workers. We collected quotes as a way to kind of put a stamp on this year and a half or however long it's going to be, 2 years, forever kind of remember all the hard work that the frontline workers did and still are doing, and to inspire you to bake for your family and friends, because we cannot change the world, but I can bake a cookie.
Exactly. And where can everyone find this?
So the good news is it's available on the easiest way to buy it is Amazon's website. It'll be a link in Chef Frank's bio of the YouTube link or however that all works.
They'll be able to link on
the thing.
Description.
And also, if you prefer not to buy through Amazon, you can find it online. There's specific bookshops you can buy it from. And also my publisher website's Book Baby. They have a bookshop that you can buy from if you prefer not to buy from Amazon.
Cool. Time to make the dough.
Nuts.
Okay. For the dough, we have bread flour, unsalted butter, eggs, instant yeast, and this is a gold yeast for doughs with lots of fat, sugar, water, and salt. Okay, so what do we got to do?
We are going to put our water in the bowl.
Water in the bowl.
And then we're going to add our yeast and whisk to dissolve. Even though we're using an instant yeast.
Yeah.
I just like to cross my T's.
Yeah.
But I always like to kind of make sure my yeast hits the water.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Eggs, bowl.
Eggs into bowl. Okay, right into the bowl.
Well, you're risky. I would personally crack into my bowl and then pour. But this is culinary versus savory today. And you feel really confident.
Well, I do crack my eggs on the counter rather than on the side of the bowl.
Because why? What does that do for you?
Egg shards. No egg shards into my...
We don't want any extra crunch. My crunch will be like sprinkles, something like that. Maybe some chopped nuts.
Guess what I just got in there?
You got a shell. It's because we've been talking about it. We made them nervous, guys.
But what I find is shell attracts shell.
It's true. That I always felt like I was the only one that had that little secret.
Now, shell attracts shells. Okay, so what do we do next?
Now give it a little whisk. Just make everything become friends. You know, nice and friendly in there.
Okay, flour.
Yep, and we're using a flour with higher gluten content, or basically it has more protein, so it's more structure, which is, I like my donuts to have a little bit of chew. I don't want to just taste air.
What's next?
Yep, then we're going to add our sugar and our salt, which I always do after my flour, because salt can kind of impede our yeast growth, which we don't want. Now we're going to start mixing, and we're going to use a dough hook, because we basically are making a bread here. So this is just basically a standard brioche.
Okay, let it roll.
Let's go. Hit the road, Jack.
We're not rolling yet. Sorry, let it go.
Oh, so I'm over here singing like songs.
No, I was just singing, that's from Frozen, Let It Go.
There you go.
So we're doing musicals.
I mean, that's on brand for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Frank.
I'm not a singer. So what are we doing here?
We are going to mix until it combines. I like to have to go on my tippy toes to see what's going on. And then once it starts to combine, we're going to throw our butter in. Kind of piece by piece, but also quickly, like a fine dance.
Yeah. So we don't want to have any, we don't want to see any, like flour.
Right.
We want it to be combined.
Yeah, we're going to mix until combined, and then we'll add our butter in. You can start adding that butter.
You don't want to just dump it all in, right? You just want to go...
I never like to surprise my doughs, you know?
Yeah.
Treat them how you want to be treated, right? The golden rule. And I don't want to shock it.
Yeah, okay. So we're adding the butter fairly quickly, but not all at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we basically just like let it rip, let the machine do all the work.
So we turn it up real high right now?
I'm pretty happy with the speed you have it at, which I think is like a 2 or a 4, I take a guess at.
I don't know.
Because any faster, your motor's just gonna really burn out. These KitchenAid machines are fabulous for making doughs, but they don't like to go super, super quick. It's just the dough is too heavy for the machine.
Yeah.
So it's not that you can't use them, you 100% can.
Okay.
You just don't want to go all the way up. Like,
How long do we have to let the machine go?
we're going to let this go for about 8 minutes.
Okay.
And then it can go on its merry way. So we'll show you guys in maybe about 4 minutes what it looks like, and then when it's almost done as well.
We are at about 4 minutes. And what do we want to look for here, Chef?
So right now I can tell it's not finished yet. The dough is still really wet and it hasn't fully wrapped around the dough hook. So we want to just basically keep going.
Okay, and is it going to pick all this stuff off at the side eventually?
It's going to pick the majority up. If you want to, you could scrape it down.
Okay.
I don't. I let the machine do all the work for me.
Okay, so let's do the other 4 minutes and then we'll come back when it's ready.
Sounds good.
Go. So, right, it's been our 8 minutes. What do you think?
Beautiful.
What are we looking for?
So the dough is fully wrapped, and you can see, like you mentioned before, it's really clean the sides of the bowls.
Okay.
I always like to just take my dough, especially with a brioche, and I just give it like a little test, to make sure we did okay. And I just like to take my hands, and you see that nothing comes out.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign. So now what we want to do is let this sit covered for about 45 minutes to get our yeast going, and we call that our bulk fermentation. And then we're going to put it in the fridge overnight and let it take a little nap.
Cool. Get it out.
Clean it up. And you could spray this with a little bit of Pam if you want. There's enough butter in here that I'm pretty much low stress about it.
Yeah.
Lid on, 45 minutes to an hour, room temperature. Let it kind of start to at least double.
Yeah.
And then we're going to remove the air, punch it down.
Okay.
And then into the fridge.
Okay, good. This is our dough that we made, and it's been rising for like a couple hours or about an hour, right?
About an hour.
Yeah.
We just basically want to make sure it doubles. I kind of always, not only will this develop our flavor because it's at room temperature, which helps our yeast grow, make sure your yeast is alive.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to wake up tomorrow morning.
And not have dough. So all we have to do is redistribute the yeast, right?
I just want to punch it down to release the air so it can grow.
And that doesn't mean you get violent with it. You just kind of...
little... I mean, look, sometimes you want to...
This dough feels so good.
And then we're going to just cover it again. If you have this fancy dancy thing like Chef Frank, that's great, but a bowl would work just fine. Or you could just put it on a sheet tray and wrap it up. Just make sure it stays wrapped. This is actually not something I would do a tea towel with.
Yeah.
I would do a proper seal.
Because you want it to get crusty.
Exactly, and it will dry out.
All right.
So some kind of proper...
So this is going to go in the fridge and for overnight.
Minimum of 6 hours. I usually, whenever possible, just say do it.
Yeah, so if you have the time, let it go overnight. You get better flavor.
Yeah,
So
better
I'm going
flavor.
in.
It's easier to work with.
Yep.
And then you're going to wake up and make donuts.
Going in. The dough has proofed overnight.
Yep.
It's cold.
It is.
And what are we going to do next?
We are going to roll it out and start cutting out our donuts so we can have them proof and fried.
How does that look?
Looks pretty good, Frank. Not gonna lie, you did a pretty good job.
Smells like beer.
That's from your fermentation. Very good. So sprinkle a little flour onto our bench.
So this is bench flour, and we're just going to sprinkle it here. Go light or?
A little bit more, and I actually liked your sprinkling action. That's perfect.
Okay, good.
And now let's go ahead and remove it out of our bowl. You can use a bowl, a tray.
I don't know if this is good. I was going to use the pastry.
Just grab it with your hands, like a Wolverine.
Savage.
That's the classy pastry. Perfect.
Excellent.
So I'm just going to start by kind of getting this into a little bit of a better shape.
Okay.
So we can get, even though we're going to cut circles, I always want to make sure at least we look like we're professionals even when we're not.
And working with it cold is optimal at this point?
It is way more optimal to use it cold.
Because with this dough, it would be kind of floppy if...
Exactly, because of the fat. I always say at school, it makes it kind of wonky.
Yeah.
And we're going to get... I always think cold weather is donut weather.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my opinion on that.
I think every weather is donut weather, but I'm...
I hear you. I understand that. So you're going to start rolling. Make sure you don't roll off your edges. So you want to make sure just an even roll throughout. And we're looking for about a 1/2 inch.
Okay.
You got it? He's confident.
I know how to use a rolling pin because I do pastas and stuff. So.
Oh, there you go. The Italian's coming out.
Yeah. Do you try and keep it a certain shape? I mean, I just went totally wonky with this, but...
No, that's fine. Because we're cutting it out, I don't really care. And now we're really close to almost where we want it. And I would just make sure we're even throughout. Like, it's a little thicker here.
Thicker there. Yeah. Okay, so that
looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this.
Good.
And you can see the dough is pretty easy to roll out.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. Just a little thick right here.
Okay.
Just yelling at Frank.
Just by feel. No, you got to do by feel.
Yeah, by feel. Really, rolling dough, the only way you get better is by practicing.
Yeah.
So
I feel we're fairly even. You tell me, Chef.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I think you did really well. Good. Nice. Cool. And now we are going to cut out. And they do sell, actually, donut cutters.
Yeah.
But I would recommend just getting a set like we have here.
Because these are multi-purpose. Because I've seen the donut cutters and it's basically just this is attached to this.
It's attached, but then you can only make donuts out of it.
So we're just going to cut as close as possible?
Yep, so you can start with that. And I'm going to get our sheet tray ready so that way they can go here when you're done. So this is just a tray with parchment. Actually, me and Frank spoke about this earlier. I'm team parchment on everything. He's not.
Pastry, you need the parchment more than culinary?
And I just don't trust any of these are clean ever.
Yeah.
Like, I just think they're always dirty. And we're gonna do some, with our little ones, we'll just cut out our center. And I'm gonna save the little donut holes. They don't fry up perfectly, so to speak, but they are incredibly delicious.
We call those chef snacks.
Yes. I actually think I'm gonna switch out my cutters. I'm gonna do one size bigger. This is a little bit small. Yeah, that looks a little bit better.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Right, that's a little more donutty.
I like that, yeah.
So these I think we will actually...
Oh, we gotta fry them. No, we gotta fry them.
We'll use those little nuggies.
Look at them, they're adorable.
You know, they are little baby donuts.
Do we save this?
So we can, if you want, we can try making some fritters or something, assuming you have something in this house, which I think at all times Frank does.
Yes. So I'm gonna ball this together.
It'd be really good for like cinnamon buns, etc.
Okay, so I'm gonna save it and make something out of it later. Save your dough, don't waste it. It's a fair amount, right?
And with this over here, I have some space, which is super intentional because these are gonna grow.
Okay.
For me, these taste just like a Krispy Kreme, which people always say to me as an insult, but I don't know about you, that's a compliment.
That is great compliment. And what Tracy says in the book, and it's just a rough quote, is that the gold standard for donuts, for me, and I think for Chef Tracy as well, is a plain glazed donut. If they don't do a good plain glazed donut for me, I really am not interested in any of their other donuts.
We're gonna wrap this and we need to let them proof for about 1 to 2 hours, depending on the temperature of your house.
Okay, and it's not cold today, but it might take a little while.
It's like a nice chilled in here, but we can always like turn the oven on a little bit to get it warmer, etc. But you want to wrap them.
So we want to cover them with just plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap, or if you want something reusable, you can use a tea towel.
Yes, because I use a lot of plastic wrap. And we can just leave this anywhere or...
Yep, room temperature is where you want it. You don't want to rush this.
What we're looking for is that they double in size.
They're going to double. They're going to also, you're going to see, if you look at them right now, they're just really firm on the top. And as they look proofed, they're going to almost get like dimples or wrinkles.
Okay.
And they're also not going to feel cold anymore.
Okay. Okay, cool. So let's put them aside, and when they're ready, we'll fry.
Yep. Sounds good.
Excellent. Before we fry, we're going to make the glaze. So we want to glaze the donuts when they are hot.
Warm-ish. So ideally kind of like 5 minutes or so out of the fryer.
Okay. Okay, so it's a simple glaze. Tell me about it.
Super simple glaze. So I like to use regular confectioner sugar. Vanilla extract is my preferred for this. I think vanilla bean paste or vanilla beans are great, but it's a lot of flavor for this.
Yeah.
I use milk and a little bit of salt just to, finish it off.
So just a pinch of salt?
Pinch of salt.
Yeah,
you got this.
It always needs salt because salt is a flavor enhancer.
Oh.
We're going to add our...
extract?
Everything just goes in, basically.
Everything goes in.
I'm not going to put all this.
Correct.
Okay, we'll just put like half for now.
Half. Let's give it a little whisk, see what's going on. Also, maybe you want yours thinner. Maybe you want yours thicker. I don't know your life.
Well, yeah, because I like the glaze to be fairly thick.
You want a little bit of a crisp.
I want it to get crackly almost,
Delicious.
Yes.
A little bit more, definitely a little bit more milk. It does get a little messy. This does happen.
That's fine.
Pastry can be a little messy, guys. I'm sorry.
Just get it everywhere. Just get it everywhere. It's a common theme when I cook. Get it everywhere.
Is that the name of your new channel?
That's my new channel. That is going to be my new shirt. Just get it everywhere.
Get it. Actually, that would be a good shirt. I'd buy that. Drop a comment if you'd buy a shirt that says "Get it everywhere."
Probably, yeah.
And then you're gonna want to keep this covered, so just some plastic wrap or something like that until you're ready to go. And leave that little bit of milk on the side.
Just in case we need to readjust.
You got it. Take your little whisk and do a little test. That's glazable.
So it's got like ribbons kind of?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to eat that, don't you?
Yeah, give me a spoon.
Awesome.
So our donuts are proofed. We cut them, they're proofed. Let's look at what they look like.
They are looking good. So you can see they've grown.
Yes.
Which is what we want. They should not be huge. And kind of the few telltale signs are you can see those little dimples starting to form.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign in some of them. Also, you want to touch the side. They should no longer feel cold and they should feel really, really light.
Okay.
For these here, what I like to do, if you want to grab that slotted spoon, I put them in and then first thing I'm going to do is a few quick turns. So just rotate them really fast. And then once they grow to their full potential, that's when then I stop and let them tan on both sides.
Okay.
Because that will get you the ring. So we're not going to flip them anymore.
Okay.
Because that ring, which you kind of got with those, is really important for donut shapes. That tells you this is a proper yeasted donut.
Okay.
We all have our passions in life, and the ring is my passion.
Well, you know donuts, I don't know if I've told you many times, but donuts are my passion. So we can just drop these in.
Yep, go for it.
And I'm going to flip them 2 or 3 times.
Yep, and then tan to the beach. And our first ones look ready to be flipped whenever you're ready.
So they go super quick.
Super fast, but if it's going too quickly, that means your oil is too hot.
Too hot, and
so you might want to turn it down a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
This oil, by the way, I'm gonna save. So it's not gonna be just a single-use oil. It's gonna be used for the next time. The next time that I fry donuts, which
for sure might be tomorrow.
I'm gonna keep trying to perfect this.
These all look good though.
Okay, so I'm gonna take these 2 out.
Yeah, those look great.
Look at those.
Delish.
Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, and these need another minute, you think?
Yeah.
Should I finish these?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And that will sometimes happen. I'd rather my donuts be a little bit cold than too warm. That's really not what we want at all.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep that shape. You work so hard on it.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about is adding them
Yeah.
quickly into the oil and flipping them around so they
Yeah,
fry.
it helps
They
with your
basically they fry a little more even, like you
Yep.
know. You don't just get one side rising.
Exactly.
You get them frying. Today we're just gonna do a regular plain
Yeah,
glaze.
I'm just, me and Frank are both always like, what's next?
because I guarantee there will be more donut videos.
Oh, I think
So this is Chef Tracy's recipe, and as I take a recipe and kind of develop it, you'll probably see another couple.
I can
of
see it
donuts.
happening,
Yeah.
so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have like a donut off.
A donut off. What do you think? Almost.
I think those look good.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna finish frying these, and then we're gonna glaze and garnish.
And eat.
And eat. I forgot about eating. How did I forget about eating? So we're at the point now where we're so close to eating these donuts.
You guys how excited Chef Frank is? He is like smiling ear to ear.
But before we do that, we're just gonna put the glaze on, and we made the glaze a little earlier. So we saved a little extra milk.
Just in case. I do think this is a little thick.
Okay.
But I'm with you on like the crunch.
Okay.
So, let's
we don't
one.
need the extra milk. I'm putting that aside.
We might. We'll
Okay.
It's like a TBD.
We also have nonpareils, which are just little crunchy sprinkles, and Tracy gets them at nuts.com. They're not a sponsor, but if they want to, they can always sponsor me. What do we do to glaze these? We pick them up.
We're gonna pick them up. So you want to pick your pretty sides. Like this side has seen better days.
Yeah, that side
So
too.
we're gonna flip it over. We're gonna go right in, do a full dunk, kind of do a twist, pull up, give it a little tap, make sure the inside gets there. There we go. I think it could be a dash looser where I would add a little bit more milk, which was the original recipe. We just like to kind of keep it on deck.
I am not sad about this, Chef.
And then before it fully sets, if you want sprinkles, which
Let's do half and half.
That's what I'm thinking. Some
Yeah.
sprinkled, some not.
Let's go half and half, and you can do the sprinkles because
that's really what
fun.
Really what I came for is the sprinkles. I mean, how fun is this?
Oh my gosh.
You can totally make donuts at home. These sprinkles probably are going to go everywhere.
That's okay, because
part of the
that's
deal.
what we do. We get it everywhere.
Yep.
And I'm going heavier than Chef Tracy because I'm a sugar fiend.
These look great.
I think we'll just finish glazing these suckers, and then we get to taste. After all that work,
it is time
to taste. So I'm going to take the sprinkle one here.
I'm going to go plain Jane.
Okay, I'm not going to show it here to here. Look at that beautiful donut.
Cheers.
Cheers, and we can cheers because we didn't taste these yet.
No, we
Ready?
really haven't. We've been waiting.
Okay. What a great bite. Again, look at that inside of that donut. It is not like falling apart,
No,
but
it's
it is
really-
still
it's a good
light
chewy.
and fluffy. Good amount of chew. Glaze is simple. This is what you're looking for
This is delicious.
in a glazed donut.
Fresh donuts. There's nothing better.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank
We
you for
appreciate it.
having me. I had a great time. I hope I inspire everyone to bake at home.
And again, check out Chef Tracy's book, Baking It Forward. You can get it on Amazon or at your publisher. What was the publisher again?
Book Baby Bookshop.
Book Baby Bookshop.
Or my website, which is Chef Tracy Wilk. Chef Frank will link it all for y'all.
It's definitely going to be linked in the bio, so if you get a chance, pick it up, please. And that's Donuts with Chef Tracy Wilk. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We have t-shirts in the description down below, Neat Salt t-shirts. Check that out. I want to thank our Patreon patrons for your support. Thank you guys for supporting us. And we have a P.O. box in the description down below. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I'm Chef Frank.
I'm Chef Tracy.
Have a good one.